You hear it all the time, right? Blockchains are going to shape our future. But what kind of future are we talking about? Today, we're diving into two projects with two totally different visions, Bitcoin and Bittensor. Think of it like this. One is a fortress built to protect value. The other is a factory built to create it. Let's get into what that really means.
At the end of the day, the difference is actually pretty simple. Imagine Bitcoin as a digital vault. It's designed from the ground up to be incredibly secure, a place to store value. Now, on the other hand, you've got Bittensor, which is more like an AI factory, a bustling, dynamic network that's constantly producing something new, intelligence. One protects what exists, the other creates what's next.
So first up, let's step inside that vault. To really get this whole comparison, you've got to understand why Bitcoin was built the way it was and why it's still seen as the original, rock-solid digital asset.
All right, let's jump back in time to 2009. Bitcoin just appears on the scene. It's the world's first ever decentralized digital money. You have to remember, this was the response to a huge need for a financial system that could just work securely without needing to trust big banks or governments.
And its entire design, its whole reason for being, is to be a store of value. This is what people mean when they call it digital gold. Everything about it, the fact that there will only ever be 21 million coins, its massive security, it's all engineered to hold on to its value over the long haul. It's built for durability above everything else.
Okay, now let's completely switch gears and talk about something much newer and, honestly, a whole lot more complex. If Bitcoin is the quiet, secure vault, then Bittensor is the loud, humming factory right next door, a totally new kind of machine designed to pump out intelligence. So Bittensor is the new kid on the block. The idea was dreamed up around 2019 by a couple of AI researchers, Jacob Steves and Ala Shabana. By 2021, the Open Tensor Foundation officially launched it, and they had this absolutely massive goal: to build a global, decentralized market, not for money, but for pure intelligence.
And this is where you see Bittensor giving a huge nod to Bitcoin. Just like Bitcoin, its token, Tau, has a hard cap of 21 million. That is no accident, believe me. They deliberately copied Bitcoin's idea of digital scarcity because it creates this incredibly powerful incentive for people to join and contribute to the network.
But here is the massive difference. Bitcoin rewards miners for using raw energy to secure the network. That's proof of work. Bittensor, on the other hand, rewards useful intelligence. So you contribute a valuable AI model, the network checks to see how good it is, and the best contributors earn Tau tokens. It's a marketplace where intelligence itself is the product.
All right, so we've got the vault, we've got the factory. Let's put them side by side and really see where they differ.
This table just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at the very first row. Purpose, store value versus produce intelligence. That one single difference dictates everything else. Bitcoin uses proof of work for security. Bittensor uses proof of intelligence to drive innovation. It's why one is seen as stable and established, while the other is all about being new and dynamic.
And this chart really nails the fundamental trade-off. Bitcoin is a fortress. It's incredibly hard to change, and that's a feature, not a bug. It's all about stability. Bittensor, though, is like a modular factory. It's designed for rapid change and innovation through these things called subnets. Think of them as specialized assembly lines, each focused on a different AI task. This allows it to evolve and adapt constantly.
Honestly, if you take away just one thing from this whole explainer, make it this sentence. Bitcoin protects value, Bittensor produces value. It perfectly captures the entire philosophical split. One is a defensive system for protecting wealth, the other is an offensive system for creating intelligence.
Okay, so the big question is, are these two on a collision course? Are they competitors fighting for the same digital turf? Or maybe could there be another way to look at this, where they actually work together?
So what's the deal? Is it one or the other? Do you have to choose between the vaults and the factory, or can they both exist in the same neighborhood?
Well, there's another way to look at this, and it's gaining a lot of traction. It's the idea that they aren't competitors at all. In this view, Bitcoin acts as the bedrock, the stable, secure base layer of the entire digital economy. And then Bittensor can be seen as an innovation layer built right on top, using that stability to power a brand new AI economy.
Now, of course, neither one has a perfectly clear path ahead. For Bitcoin, you've got the endless debates about energy use and the threat of tough regulations. For Bittensor, the risks are all about whether it can actually deliver. Are its AI subnets genuinely useful?
Can it really compete with the massive AI labs at Google and OpenAI? What you really want to watch is whether Bitcoin continues to get adopted globally, and for Bittensor, whether it can attract top developers and get real companies to use it.
And that leaves us with a really fundamental question for the future, doesn't it? As we build this next version of the internet, what do we value more? The unbreachable vault that protects what we already have, or the endless factory that builds what we'll need next? The path we take here is going to define a lot more than just our wallets.